Come along with me as I pump at my event. Every drop counts, guys. Come along with me as I pump at my event today. So I actually just got to the Glossier parking lot. I'm going to be engraving with Glossier today. I'm going to be done pumping in about 2 months or so. And I figured I could take you along with me today. And since I only have 2 more months left, this may be like my second to last event where I have to pump. So I figured now would be a really good time to kind of show you what the process is like, and what I have to pack and things to make sure that I can pump on site and in public. So I do have the LV pump. It is a portable. It's not the strongest, so I'd recommend not making this your primary pump. Definitely recommend having a wall pump at home, but this actually works really well in a pinch. So I'm just gonna put it in. You turn it on and you position it and you make sure that it is completely centered. And then you just hit play. The LV pump is probably one of my favorites, just because it is much more discreet and it has a really, really nice kind of like shape to it. And even here you can't really tell and see, but it is going now. So when I first got the LV and put it in, my husband called me Jessica Rabbit because like the boobs get so much bigger. And ever since then, like I haven't been, I'm always like a little self-conscious with like giant boobs. So anyway, I actually have it in a Ziploc bag because it's easier to transport, and I'll kind of give you a tour of like my backpack and things just so that you have an idea of what I have and what I pack. So in said Ziploc bag, I have my wipes. These are the Dapple Baby portable wipes and they are resealable, so it's nice and convenient there. I normally have more than one, but I have one milk bag. I've got my charger and the wires in my backpack, and then a Sharpie just in case I need to write something down. So I put this in here because it's easier to just throw into my backpack without having to worry about it taking extra space because of the storage and things. Another thing that I have in my backpack is my breastfeeding cover. So this is one of my favorites, actually. I have 2 of these. I have one in black for events and then another one in beige for the diaper bag. So this one is from Gold Mamas, and I have everything linked in my Amazon storefront already, and I'll drop the link in the description if you guys want to support me there. But for events, I usually just have it on and then I put it over. And when this is over it, like no one can even tell that I'm pumping. Usually I'll just say like, oh, I have to go empty out my breast pump and I'll be right back. And they're like, you've been pumping this whole time. So it's really cool. I love having this. Another essential is this Sarah's Chill. There's 2 compartments in here that essentially make it like a cooling thermos. And you can also use it for heat as well if you're traveling. But there's 2 different containers. This one has a maximum of 6 ounces. So if you're only doing like 1 pump, it works out well. But if you're doing multiple pumps, like 3, maybe 4, depending on how much you get per pump, you can use this instead. And this holds up to 10 ounces. And this is only 6 ounces. Either one that you use, you want to put the ice in the opposite. So if you think you're going to use the small one, put the ice in here. If you're going to use the big one, you put the ice in here. I have found that if you use the smaller cubes of ice, it melts a lot faster because there's more like surface area. So instead what I do now, instead of like sitting by the freezer trying to find that big ice that like fits into the hole, I'll actually just freeze this. I'll fill it up with water. I'll throw it in the freezer, just like this. And then when I'm ready to go, I just pull it out and I assemble it. And then it's good to go here. I've done 8-hour events where it's completely solid in the beginning and there's still like half of it is still ice by the end of it, even though this is fairly full of milk. So highly recommend getting one of these. Otherwise you have to like fill it up in the little milk bag and like label it, and then you spill milk and things, and it's not as clean. To give you an idea of what my pumping bag looks like, this is the one that I got from Amazon. And what I love about this is that it actually has a cooler built into it too. And here are some more milk bags. You can put like an ice pack in there if you want to. Typically I don't. Sometimes I'll be at an event where there's a freezer and I'll put it into the milk bag, and then at the end of the event I'll throw the milk bags that are frozen into this cooler, and it's just like a really convenient way to transport all of your frozen milk at home without having to worry about temperatures and things like that. And then once I'm done pumping, I can probably use it for like alcohol or like take it on a picnic or something. So yeah, and then some other things that I have in here are just like my coconut water, my water bottle, lip gloss, snacks and things. These are my ultimate favorite snacks to get, for instance, is like these. But yeah, with that being said, some things that I would highly recommend is getting a portable pump that is completely hands-free and wall-free, all that stuff. Again, it's not the strongest, so you may not empty out completely, but it's good in a pinch, you know, when you're only going to be working for a couple hours or stuff like that. But yeah, it is now 11:40 and I have about 5 minutes before I have to go in. So I'm just going to do a quick like 15-minute pump. I last fed him around 9:30 before I got to the event. So I'm actually a little bit early, so I may not get that much. These days, I'm only pumping about 2 to 3 ounces per pump. I used to be able to do like 5 to 6, but I actually ended up getting mastitis in December during like the rush of all the events and things. Maybe I like wasn't pumping enough or I wasn't like paying attention to the clogs and things. I ended up getting mastitis and it was a horrible experience. It was right before Christmas. I was on antibiotics for 10 days. And my milk supply dropped so significantly and it hasn't really recovered. So I've kind of come to the conclusion that we're already kind of like naturally tapering. I'm not going to try to get my supply back up because I'm going to have to taper down anyway. So I figured whatever I can get is the best for me. Whatever happens, happens. And I'm kind of just letting it run its natural course. We've been supplementing with formula for quite a while anyway, so it's just been a nice way to like mentally not be so fully dependent on me. I do still majority breastfeed, but now we're almost like 60-40 maybe, 60% being breast milk. So, you know, it's fun. I like it. It's been a really good experience just to be able to bond with the baby. I really loved having that connection with him, and it was just so nice that like whenever he had a meltdown that he would just like stick him on the boob and he'll be like totally fine. So I'm gonna miss that for sure, like once he becomes a toddler. So it's 11:42. I'm actually going to take this, and this is just gonna be like a quick 10-minute pump because I'm gonna have to come back out anyway. I like to pump every 2 to 3 hours just so that I can keep up with the supply. So I didn't get anything in my right, probably because it wasn't maybe suctioned incorrectly or positioned correctly. That happens sometimes and it's okay. So I'll probably show you guys how I clean this out, and then I'm gonna go in and probably put the pump back on, put the shawl on, and then I'll be able to work in front of people. But yeah, you just take it out. I usually like to tap it just to make sure I get extra milk out, and then I just throw this directly in here. Because it's only been, it was a 10-minute pump and it's only been a couple hours, maybe 2 hours since I fed him. I wasn't expecting to get a lot. Plus my left one is the one that got mastitis. So I got like maybe just like a sliver, which is fine. I just wanted to like show you guys how I do it anyway. And then from there, you just take it back down and you're good. So one thing that some people might be worried about is like the sanitation of this. If you're worried about like the freezer being dirty or whatever, you can wipe this with like the Japple wipe thingy, and then you should be good to go. Okay, just taking a quick 5 to 10 minute break to empty and clean out the pumps. I like to clean my pump usually right after, but if you are in a rush, because milk is technically good for, I think, 4 hours at room temperature, sometimes I leave it. If I'm in a rush or if I'm busy, I'll usually just empty out the milk into the cooler and then leave it just a little bit dirty. Okay. Woo! Every drop counts, guys. Sometimes this thing gets so cold that it like freezes, the milk freezes on top of it, but not this time. So with that, I got about maybe 3 ounces in there. When I'm in a rush, I end up spilling a lot. Sometimes what I do is I'll just like empty it and then put it back in and just pump one more time. But I think I might wait until, let's see, it's 1:23 right now. We've only been working for 90 minutes. Okay, so to clean it, you take one of the Dapple wipes. And during this time, sometimes I'll like try to eat a snack, take a bite, drink some coffee, some water, because I'm really bad at like drinking water while I'm on site. And I'll just put it back together. If you are lucky enough where you have a bathroom on site, you could also rinse it out too. This is just if you're in a pinch and you're not close to any running water and just like need to clean it up really quick in between. So I try not to take more than like 5 minutes if I can. So because the event today is only 4 hours, we're not going to be taking a full break. Clock right now on the camera says 4 minutes. So I'm going to try to get done in a couple minutes more. Because the event is only 4 hours, I don't feel good about taking, half-hour breaks, because then like we're only working for like three hours or so. And I feel like that's just not fair for the client, because they essentially paid for 4 hours of performance, right? So I try to make this as quick as possible so that they don't get mad at me. And then because I do take frequent pump breaks, sometimes I'll stay later if they are super duper busy, just because I want to make sure that they feel like they're getting their money's worth. And it's not, you don't have to do that. I only do that because I want to maintain a good relationship and, hope that they hire me back. But yeah, that's only in very specific cases. If it's like a one-off or something, then I'll just stay like a couple of minutes after to do it. But for the most part, we don't have to. If it's like 5 or 10 or something like that, then I would request for an extra half hour to be compensated. So pumps are all clean. I put it back into my Ziploc bag. The Ziploc bag and the Sarah's Chill is going to go with me. Technically, I could leave the Sarah's Chill in the car and then just bring my water with me instead, just to keep things a little bit lighter. Drink some coffee, not that I need any more. It's 1:26. Okay, back into work. Oh my gosh, what an awesome day. Like, those 4 hours at Glossier has been like, I would say top 10 experiences of all time. Like, everyone there is super nice. It's just a stunning and beautiful place to be. Everyone's got like amazing energy. Everyone's like super appreciative about like the fragrance and engraving and things. And I just loved it. It was so much fun. It didn't feel like work. And I think that is like the most important thing. I am currently pumping. I'm on my way to Palm Springs. So normally I would pump on the way here or before the event. And then I would pump maybe 2 to 3 hours later, whether that's in the middle of the event or during a lunch break or whatever. And then I would pump one more time on the way home. So today I'm actually on my way to Palm Springs. I'm going to meet my family there and we're going to have some fun for the weekend. But yeah, I'm currently pumping right now. I don't know if you can tell. And then I would just do the same thing where I'd put it into the Sarah's Chill and, you know, just refrigerate or freeze when we get there, kind of depending on, you know, if baby's hungry or not. So yeah, that's kind of been my process for the day. I've been pumping for about 10 months or so, and I hope that this video was informative and helpful for you, just to make you feel a little bit more comfortable pumping, maybe in public or at an event. As you saw, I was able to just pump with a shawl over me, and people didn't really, you know, everyone just thought it was part of the work attire. So that's kind of like my biggest tip is get comfortable there. I will say that most companies are super supportive about the pumping aspect of it. Usually if you tell the supervisor or the manager that you have to pump, then they will be super supportive and just, you know, offer whatever you need, whether it's a break room, closing the manager's door, or, you know, stuff like that, or like even just letting you go to the car and take as long as you need, obviously within reason. So I've had generally just a positive experience with that. I feel like I'm the most comfortable in the car just because like I have like tinted windows, I can put the screen up, and then I just can just like lay everything out without having to worry about like it getting dirty or whatever. So yeah, it's been, you know, my preference is to come into the car, but if you would prefer like a table or I don't know, cardboard box or something flat that you can lay things out on, you can definitely ask for that. People are super accommodating. And then it's generally just a really good kind of conversation starter. Everyone tends to ask afterwards, like, how old's your baby? How's it going? How are you sleeping? So it's just like a nice little icebreaker for everyone. I would have to say that pumping, as difficult as it is, it kind of feels like a full-time job. It's like having to go to work and then having another job on top of that, because pumping is a full-time job. I have found that it actually ends up becoming a really nice break. Like it forces you to take a break every 2 to 3 hours, where it's mandatory, because then you do feel engorged and there is a little bit of pain in there if you wait too long. So it's kind of a nice physical reminder of like, go take a walk, go take a break, go eat something. So it's like a nice way to excuse yourself to accommodate to your own needs, but also to pump and things for your baby as well. So it's been generally a positive experience. Our goal is a year and I'm gonna stick with 1 year. It's pretty difficult. I feel like there's a lot of extra hormones and things that you have now, that changes your mood, changes your energy, your appetite and all that. And I think I'm ready to have my body back, just for a couple of months before we start trying for our second baby. But yeah, I hope this was informative for you. I have learned a lot along the way, and I hope that this video helps you to feel comfortable pumping in public or at work as well. If you have any questions, feel free to drop that into the comments. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe. I made it to Chick-fil-A, and before I get my hands all greasy and gross, I'm gonna empty out my pump. Ooh, quite a bit in there. Got 3-ish ounces in one. My slacker boob, I got 1 ounce. So 4 ounces total, so that's really good. So there's about 3 ounces or so in here. I just want you guys to hear the ice situation. It's like still solid. I feel like the Sarah's Chill is really well insulated, so it usually doesn't melt unless there's a lot of like milk in it, just because the milk does come out at body temperature. So I'm just gonna leave that there. There's about 6 ounces in here now. Yeah, can you see that?